So in this part 2 of sections and sectional views, I'm going to cover how we draw a sectional isometric drawing of this object. So this is what we saw previously. We had to draw a sectional front view, and of course including the end and the plan. So this is the view as seen from this section. This is a full section. So now in part 2 of this, we are required to draw a sectional isometric drawing. So meaning I'm going to only draw half of this. So it's basically I'll be showing this part only without the section that has been removed. Okay. So the first task was to identify the drawing in this configuration. Let me first get rid of the hidden lines. So the first part was to identify the drawing in this configuration. Okay. So this is not required. This is just for clarification. I need to move this over to the hash layer. Okay. So it's in layer 0, so I'll move it over to the hash layer so that it's hidden for now. Okay. So this part of the drawing is not required. This was the original drawing, and yeah, so it's only that we are required to produce a sectional isometric drawing of the object through XX with the front elevation in the left isometric plane. So this is the front elevation. So in using some bit of imagination, we have to put the front elevation in the left isometric plane. It doesn't mean we have to draw it first, we just have to imagine it in the left isometric plane. So I just imagined it for you. So this is how it appears. Now I'm going to reproduce almost exactly the same drawing, but just half of it, and half of it is the required this sectional isometric drawing. Okay, so let's get on with it. Well, actually, alternatively, I could just copy this and edit, but I'm going to start afresh. I'll draw it from here. So I'll make sure I'm using the isometric drafting option, and I'm using the white background, so I don't need to put these because sometimes they bring confusion with the white background. So I'm getting rid of the grid lines. So go ahead and select layer 0, the construction layer, and I'll simply copy these dimensions. These are also hidden. Details are not necessary, so mostly I don't need all these so many dimensions. I only need a few of them. Okay. Yeah. So I'll need 50 plus 50 plus 16, that is 116 length, and a width of this is going to be 46 plus 16, and that is 62. So 116 and 62, yeah, to begin with. So the reason I'm not taking like piece by piece, like each piece of dimension at a time, is because I don't need all those other partitions in this view that I'm going to construct. So I don't need the 50th partition and 16th partition, 50th partition. I don't need it. So I'm taking the full length. So let's get on with it. I'll draw it somewhere here. That angle should be 330. Okay, so yeah, 330. I need 116. So that is my line. I'm going to get rid of the extra lines, the extra angles for now. Let me use incremental angles of 10. I don't need 5 at the moment. So the other one is 30 degrees. I will need 62. And now for the height, I will need the bits 16, 32 and 16, as you're going to see. So for the height, I will need 16, 32 and 16. Okay, now we complete the top part by using polar tracking. So let's just complete this. 150 and 90. I'll connect it there. Disable perpendicular for now, I don't need it. And from this end point, I'm tracking this end point. Make sure you track the end point and not the intersection. Sometimes you get errors if you track intersection. You might track the wrong point. Okay. And this with that end point. So I'll complete the back, but the back is mostly hidden, so we don't need to worry so much about it. There, 30 and 270 degrees. Then this point. So it's better to track the endpoints at this point, because the intersection, or you just follow the angle exactly, it will still lead you to the endpoint that you want to track. So the box part is complete. Now what we need is this. I'm going to try to draw this, only that I need half of it. I don't need the full thing, so I only need half. So I'm going to draw from this point to the middle. So for that, I'm going to need midpoint. There's no point finishing the whole thing if I have to trim it. So take midpoint. I'm going to track the midpoint here, and so using the angle should be 210 from the other point where I've started from, my point of origin. Coming down, I should have 210, and then together with 90, and yeah, back to that midpoint. Okay, and yeah, so what I'm going to do is to complete this, to produce this line towards that point. You can also match it with the midpoint or follow the angle. Then I'll go upwards by, the distance is already known, 16. Then we can come to that point along 30 degrees. There. Finally, we can join this line to that point, just like that. Or make sure it's end point, or you've gotten the right intersection point. Okay, so that is the base. Okay, so this is the base, and then now for the next part, I'm going to draw the top part first before I join with this slanting line or edge. So the top is 62, is right in the middle, so it's 62 by 26. But now the 26, I'm going to use half, so that will be 13. Okay, so just like before, I'm going to get the width is 62, so half of that width is actually okay, so half of this width, half of 62 is 31, so 31, I'm going to subtract 16, so that the balance is what I'm going to count from the other, from this endpoint. The balance is what I'm going to count and then start from around there. So I'll start from a distance of 31 minus half of this, which is 13. Okay, half of 62 is 31, and then okay, so half of 62 is 31, then minus half of 26, which is 13, and that gives me 18. So I have to start from that point, a distance of 18. So from here along that line, the angle should be 210, so type 18 is my starting point, and I have to go inwards now. Okay, so let me just go inwards to which point exactly. Let me first compute that point. So this full length is 116, and we need to put 62 in the middle of it, so that means we have we'll have 116 minus 62, and the balance is that 54, so divide 54 by 2, so 27 from the side, so we should subtract 27 from both sides to make sure 62 sits in the middle. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I will just add 27 to 62. Okay, so 27 to add it to 62, and that gives me 89. Okay, sorry, stop at 89. So that gives me 89. So I want this line to go a distance of 89 there, so that the balance here is actually 27, so I don't need to keep breaking. So now let me just go this side by half of 26, and that was 13, so by 13, and now go this side by yes, that's right, 62. Okay, so if I go by 62, I only need to look for the intersection along 30 degrees there. Okay, so that makes the distance from here to here 27 if you do the math. Now going downwards, it should be 16, so I'll type 16 and complete the same shape down below by simply tracking the points there, and track that end point to 10 and to 70 there. Then we extend, actually we don't need this part, we don't really need it, so I really don't have to put it there, but I'll delete it later on. Okay, so track this other point as well to this point and there, and then well, of course some are going to be hidden, but for the sake of completeness, let me just put everything, then later on we can either trim or delete. Okay, so that part is done, and now we're only left with just a tiny detail to complete whatever is visible here, and that is half of the slanting piece. Yeah. So we have this slanting piece here, so just half of it. Okay, so now that is also exactly in the middle, so I'll count 23 to that point and be able to generate that line. So I'll have to draw a vertical line and then project that line towards the left to get that point, then join and make the slanting edge. Okay, so from around there, get the line tool, start from here, and we're looking for a starting point of 23. So you don't connect here because you don't know where you're going to connect. So in order to locate that point, we have to first project vertically, because all the boxed dimensions are true dimensions. Okay, so the dimensions that are not boxed, they are not exact dimensions. Okay, all right, so that means I cannot start from here and join there, because I don't know which point to join. Okay, and also this line does not go to this point, because to this point that would be 32 plus 16. If you see here, we have 32 plus 16, but we need to stop at 32 from wherever I'm starting from. If I go upwards, I need to go as high as 32 millimeters. Then it's at that point that I'll draw this line at 150 degrees to get that intersection. Okay, now it's that point that we were looking for, and it's the one that you connect here. Okay, so again, this is not a true distance, but it's just, this is what it appears like in the isometric plane. Okay, so don't take it like this distance is equal to, say, this. Okay, they are not equal, they are not the same distances. This is, however, this is a true distance. So the only true distance that we have is the vertical distance, the one that says 32 from there to there. So that distance is the same as this one. Okay, so that is the only true distance we have. Okay, so let me join up the rest of the lines, and actually our drawing is finished. So I'll join that point. Now for the hidden part, there's that if we can't see it here, there's no point drawing it. Okay, even with the original drawing, in this configuration, there's that section, the one opposite this one, which is supposed to appear behind is still hidden, so you can only see up to this point. So if we turn this around to look like this, we still wouldn't be able to see that part. Okay, although I had put it there already, it's over here, so you can tell it's hidden. It's this part here, yeah, that part, and of course by extension all the way to there, there and there and there. Okay, so that part is hidden by this line, so there's no point drawing it if it's not asked for, so you don't have to put it there. Okay, so I'll go ahead and freeze the hidden layer, and so I'll come back to this. There's just one tiny detail that we need to do to finish this drawing. I'm going to join this point directly to this point. So as you can see here, the other the opposite of this one, the other side, is also hidden, so there's no point showing it. Okay, so at this point I can say that our drawing is complete, and all we have to do is to make an outline. So what I'm going to do, instead of trimming, let me just extend this to come there, okay, at the intersection, so that I don't have to trim. So I'm going to select what I know are visible, and I'll make them outline. And the only problem is I still have, okay, I think I should trim, or not trim, let me just move this to that intersection. Okay, that's where it will be. That is as far as we can see. So now let me outline for you everything that is visible. And of course, okay, line, yeah, that is everything we can see. Of course there's a missing line which I'm going to simply draw, and so let us move to the outline layer, and I'll draw these two lines, okay, from here to that intersection slash endpoint there. Okay, so this is how it should look like. Now everything else is hidden, so I think at this point we can okay, let me see. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of some lines. I'll take this one out, and I don't see myself needing the hidden lines anymore, so what I'll do is to simply okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to freeze. I'm going to freeze the outline layer, and then delete this. Okay, so freeze the outline layer, delete that, then unfreeze the outline layer, and see we are left with only what we need to see. Okay, yeah. So now I'm going to hash this part just to show you, at least to make sure it looks like this one. Okay, and I think I should change that color to Okay, let me just make it red. Red seems to be a nice color, so I'll just make it red. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Now I'm going to okay, the hashing was hidden, so okay, this was in the outline there. It's fine. Okay, so I'll still use the outline layer to show that section. Then I'll go to the hash and I'm not sure which one we are using exactly. It's probably that. Okay, so I'll try that. If it's not the one, so I'll change until we get, it was something like this. Okay, so that's the one we are using. Right, so that is how our object looks like if it's cut in the middle. Okay, so you cut it here, and this is our sectional isometric drawing that we'll be having with the specification that was given here, that the front elevation should be in the left isometric plane. Okay, so just turn this around in your head and imagine it like that. Okay, so I don't think I need to put any dimensions here, or maybe I do, but I probably don't need them. Let me just move it close to the full drawing so that you can check them in, try to compare between them and see. So this is okay, somewhere there. Right, so I'm thinking this was very easy. It's a very easy task. The only thing you have to do is to use a little bit of your imagination. You should be able to draw this. Okay, so this is orthographic and this is isometric. Okay, so those are both sectional views. Alright, so that's it for this video.